Hey folks, I'm going to play our theme song, the music or anything of that nature. This here's a pretty serious episode of Steeds Motorcycle Magazine. I try to, keep them entertaining, and I hope you are entertained by them. But what we have here is a pretty serious matter in regards to Kentucky's governor, Andy Beshear. He won't do anything with our roads. And of course that is, roads are a subject near and dear to bikers' hearts because, well, we ride our bikes on them. The roads here have gone downhill drastically and very noticeably. There are no ifs, ands, or buts about it since Andy Beshear took office. When Matt Bevins was in office, there was always some sort of road work going on. You ask anybody in this half of Kentucky, eastern Kentucky, you seen any road work going on? Nope. And it's not because it's not needed. After I make this little clip, we're going to go and show you one of the roads and just how bad the situation is. I didn't cherry pick and find one bad road. I had, not that I had to go search down one bad road. They were all falling apart. Even Route 23, when I came down here more than a few moons ago now, I bragged up on Route 23. I told my friends from my home state of Pennsylvania, you gotta see this road. It's like a sheet of glass. And it was. Now it's starting to fall apart. It's a main thoroughfare that takes people from Kentucky up into Ohio. It's also a road that I have to take to go to 64 when I'm gone home to Pennsylvania. And Pennsylvania will always be my home. The road I'm going to show you today is a little road called 1614. May not seem like much of a road, and it's really not, but it's important to the people of a little area called Red Bush and Crockett and Salt Lick, because we take it to get to 32, Little Tail of the Dragon, that we did a video on, and I've done a couple articles on Little Tail of the Dragon. It takes about 40 minutes round trip. If we're going into Ashland, it takes 40 minutes round trip off of our trip time. So it's pretty important to a lot of people around here. And if we're cutting cross country to go to Louisa, again, 40 minutes round trip time taken off. And it's, the whole route is strewn full of potholes, the road dropping off the edge, no guardrails, and the road 1614 to get to it is nothing but a big massive pothole in itself. You cannot travel through there for no more than, say, 25 miles an hour, and even at that, it's rough going. And what non-riders don't understand is a road that may just cause you to have to buy new ball joints or new tie rod ends in your cage, that's a four-wheeled vehicle, to a biker, they can be life-threatening. And having to buy tie rod ends and ball joints all the time isn't pleasant either. It can really screw up your car. It can shorten your tire life. It's not good. And we pay taxes to put up with these bad road conditions. Now, I've called the governor's office several times because, well, let's back up. I called the different road departments. Here in Kentucky, even though they're state roads, you have to call each and every different department. Every county has a state road department. Some of the roads aren't marked on who's responsible for them, so you got to search down that information. Real pain in the butt. But I've called Johnson County, Elliott County, Morgan counties. What other county? There's one that I'm leaving out there, but I've had to call 4 different county garages. Okay. And each and every single one says the same thing. They love to fix the roads. They don't like riding on them in the condition they're in any better than we do. The problem is they can't get any funding to fix them. So I called Andy Bashir's office, and this is what they told me. Tell me if this doesn't make you sick to your stomach. They told me that, well, they have other concerns, like undocumented people need medical care. They need child care. Why do these undocumented people need child care paid for with your tax money? Why do they need their food paid for with your tax money? Why do they need medical care paid for with your tax money? When the feds dropped them off their handout list, the state of Kentucky, under this Andy Bashir, just picked up the handouts more. And they diverted a lot of the road funds to these handout programs. Now, what would you rather have as a taxpayer? Good roads or more handouts for people that broke the law by coming over the border illegal? This is kind of a tale of 2 governors. When we had Matt Bevins in here, sometimes it was kind of annoying because everywhere you went, there was a road crew working on the road. Man, I miss those days. He was getting something done. Matt Bevins was a moral individual, anti-abortion. He believed in the Constitution. He believed that our tax money should be spent on us. Really moral man. How did this other character get elected, you might ask? And here's the real kicker. The teachers union got him elected. The teachers union made a bad contract. They made a bad deal. And they weren't happy with the bad deal they made. And Bevins said, well, you're the ones that made the deal. And that's how it goes in bargaining with the union. Andy Bashir said, well, hey, get me elected and we'll renege on this deal that you made and we'll get you a better one. And the teachers union loved that, and they went full force on getting this man elected, telling him he was good for the children and good for education. He's not been good for anything except for he's good for the illegal aliens. They actually, this East Valley Elementary School actually had a rally for Bevins at their school for the teachers and the teacher union. And the children at that school were subjected to it. Only one set of parents complained. Me and my now ex-wife, we complained. And they said, oh, it wasn't like that. Yes, it was exactly like that. And they said it would never happen again. That they told the truth about. They didn't do it again. But the teachers union pretty much got Bevins elected. And he's been a real downfall for the state. These, like I said, are roads. That's enough of a reason that we don't need him in office. I called his office and I told him, I said, send somebody out. I'll take them from his office. I'll take them on a tour of these different roads. I'll show them how bad they are if they don't believe it. Well, we'll have somebody get back to you. Submit a letter of complaint. Submitted a letter of complaint. Oh, we didn't get your letter of complaint. Submit another one. So I did. And finally, I got a response, oh, we'll have somebody get back to you. It's been about 3 weeks ago, about 3 weeks. So I'm making this video, and I'm going to send it to the governor, okay? I advise you folks, even if you aren't in the state of Kentucky, to call Andy Beshear and tell him he needs to do more with these roads, and he needs to quit diverting money to the illegals. And if your state has poor roads also, and the same thing has gone on, you need to get on your governor, your congressman. You can't put up with this. And that's part of the problem here in Kentucky, is the people, no offense to those who don't fall into this category, but many of them are bend over and take it folks. They've just been used to getting it slammed to them forever and a day, and they just keep on with that attitude. Oh, there's nothing we can do about it. To hell if there's nothing you can do about it. In Pennsylvania, we fight over a drop of a hat, we fight. That kind of fighting, we got rid of our helmet law. That kind of fighting got us strong unions in the mines, in the mills. We have some of the strongest unions around in that state. Kentuckians and in some of these other states, they got to learn, they got to fight for what they want. Civil disobedience is sometimes needed. You know, it's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. Remember the Summer of Love a little while ago? Black Lives Matter and Antifa? Oh, guys like Bevins said those were mostly peaceful protests. How do you think Bevins and his left-wing loonies would react if we had similar, mostly peaceful protests? I'm not telling you to get violent. They won't consider them mostly peaceful protests when it's coming from our side. But I do expect some civil disobedience. If we have to close down roads going into Frankfurt, we close down roads going into Frankfurt. I'm one man. I can do a lot. I've done a lot before and got things done. I'm not one of these people that say, oh, what can one man do? But I could get a whole lot more done with you folks' help. If only the governor would actually watch this and get it in his thick skull that he needs to do something about it and be an upfront guy, be a good guy, and do what his constituents want and fix the roads, fight over. And we could say, hey, at least you did one thing right, Andy. But no, he's fighting this every step of the way. Why would you do that? Okay, a lot of people say Kentucky's a poor state. Maybe he doesn't have the money. Yeah, and he has less money giving it to the illegals. And there's also the situation where he has made it damn difficult for the coal mines and the oil drilling industry. Coal mining is one industry that Kentucky has, and he's made it, the state, very unfriendly to the coal mining industry. He shut down our electric producing coal plants. Yes. And they told us, it won't raise your electric rates. Bullshit. My electric rates have gone up 3 times. 3 times what they were because of those coal-fired plants shutting down. As far as the oil goes, I have oil coming up in my pond. I have oil coming in my water wells. I have oil seeping out of my ground. We have a little place down the road from me called Oil Springs. It's called Oil Springs for a reason. The oil is trickling up like a water spring. Why aren't the wells in here? Trump said, drill, baby, drill. Why aren't the wells in here? I'll tell you why. EQT, when Trump was in office the first time, they were paying a lot of us, with my 100 acres, they were paying me $5,000 a year not to sell my oil rights to anybody else. Biden got in and they said, we're canceling the lease. Can't deal with this Biden guy in office. Trump got back in office. We thought we would get our oil leases back, and we thought we'd see some drilling. Nope. EQT says that the present governor is too hostile to the oil industry. Too hostile to the oil industry, so they're not drilling here. EQT's in business other places. They're not drilling new wells in Kentucky because of Andy Beshear. We could be, in money up to here, and oil wells all over this area. EQT has already done the geological studies and said we're sitting on a honey pot of oil. Honey pot of oil. The revenue from the taxes from the revenue from that oil, glad it would easily pay for these roads. He tries to stifle the economy of eastern Kentucky. Everything this man does, yes, I'm talking about you, Governor Beshear. Everything you do is wrong, it seems, and very evil, and detrimental to the people of eastern Kentucky. That's all I got to say about it for now, but folks, if you can't do nothing else, you can use the phone and call this son of a bitch governor we have and tell him we're not going to take it anymore. We want our tax money to be used on us. We want our roads fixed. Hey, y'all have a good one, and we'll catch you on the next episode of Steeds Motorcycle Magazine. It'll be a little bit more entertainment, a little less serious, but this subject is very important to bikers, very important, and you know it is. But you take care. We're on 1614. This is a state road. It's one of the roads that Andy Beshear doesn't think needs fixed. He thinks it's more important to spend money on things that he feels illegal aliens need instead of fixing our roads. Now look at this, and this isn't an isolated case. Don't think that I went and picked the worst road that eastern Kentucky has and put on here. All of our roads are getting in bad disrepair, and all the fingers end up pointing to Andy Beshear. This cat thinks he is going to run for president of the United States. Look at this, look at this. You can't go through here at no more than 5 miles an hour. You'll get your fillings jarred out of your teeth. Of course, Andy, he don't have to worry about getting his fillings put back in. He's on the government dole. Yes, sir. Andy's on welfare. He gets a check from the government every month. Every 2 weeks. I don't know how often he gets his checks. But you see, this is just, it's a mess. It's a mess. It is unacceptable. And anybody who thinks otherwise, you got to worry about their mental state. And Andy apparently thinks otherwise. He refuses to do anything about this. He has diverted money from road projects to illegals. I've called his office, I've talked to people in his office, and they told me, they said, you have to understand, we have a lot of undocumented aliens here, and they need health care. They need food, and the federal government has shut off a lot of their funding. Look, I have to creep through here. But anyway, that's exactly what his office told me. I will swear in court on it. I'd swear on the Bible on it. She says, you gotta be concerned about the undocumented too. They're humans. Well, they're not U.S. citizens. And I kind of have an argument whether some of them are human. We don't need them here. They came here illegally, they're breaking the law, and he rewards them by, here's some of the projects. Well, some of the, some of the things he's spending money on instead of fixing these terrible roads. Child care for illegal aliens. Child care. I guess that's so they can have more time to sell dope and that they can, breed more and make more kids without having to worry about taking care of them themselves. Food stamps. Man, don't want them to have to work for their food like the rest of us do. So he, and the government shut them off. So he has some sort of free food programs for them. Medical care. He's giving them Medicaid that most of us can't qualify for. And if we can't afford our medical, oh well. But look, every step of the way on this piece of state road, 1614, is a mess. Every maintenance garage I called, because Kentucky does it kind of weird, you can't just call one number, you got to call each and every maintenance garage. They all tell me the same thing. We have no money. We have no money for anything, they say. Price of gas has gone up, the price of everything has gone up, and their funding hasn't gone up. And a lot of the funding has been diverted to projects that Andy thinks is more worthwhile than fixing the roads. I mean, look at this. There's more potholes than there is roadway here. I hope the video picks it up as bad as it is. But I just wanted to show you just this little piece of roadway. I'm trying to get it fixed. It falls under two different counties, Morgan and Johnson. And I believe the gentleman in charge of it, when they tell me, they said, we'd like to fix it. We just don't have any funds. They said they have funds for nothing right at the moment. Funds for nothing. They said if you get a major place where the road caves in, give them a call and they'll try to deal with it. But they just don't have any funding for any kind of resurfacing or anything. Yes, Andy, you're gonna run for president? Ha ha ha! Anybody that's even thinking about voting for that man or voting for him as a governor again. We had a great governor here. His name was Matt Bevins, a very moral man. He was against abortion. He's all for people working for a living. He supported the coal industry. He supported oil drilling here. Oil companies, we have a ton of oil. The taxes would more than pay for the road repair. But according to the oil companies, Andy has made it rather difficult to do business around here. So difficult that they gave up on trying to drill new wells around here until somebody else gets in office. I used to get paid to not sell my oil to any other oil companies except for EQT. When Biden came in, they canceled our lease. Well, they didn't renew our lease. Whenever Trump got in, we thought they'd renew our lease, but they said no, that Andy Beshear has made it inhospitable to do any oil drilling in this area. We're sitting on what EQT described as a honeypot of oil. I have oil in my water wells. I have oil in my pond. I have oil in my creek. We have oil all over the place just seeping out of the ground. That's God's honest truth. But Andy doesn't want them drilling here. Well, that's it for this video. Call Andy. Tell him what you think of him. And Andy, you need to come out here and take a look. I know you won't, though. You want to bury your head in the sand. Yeah, sure, the roads around Frankfort, the capital of Kentucky, are just fine. You make sure of that. You don't care about Eastern Kentucky, though. You know, they don't vote for you.